looks like it started, but it started before it actually told me it started, so that's cool. It has been so long since I've done a live video. I totally forgot how to do it. So I just remembered how to do it. I actually cannot use Safari for some reason. It says my camera's not compatible. So I'm on Google Chrome now, and hopefully this will work a little better. So I'm going to go ahead and jump right into it. Hopefully somebody will come in and get to be here with me while I live stream. If not, that's cool too. I'm gonna post this video later to this is Facebook. I'm gonna post this video later to YouTube, and I'm also going to leave it here on Facebook for you guys to look at. So as the title suggests, I'm going to be talking today about should schools open back in the fall. There's been a lot of talk about that among districts, among states, among the entire country. We've seen some students have already gone back to school overseas in different countries. They have opened up schools already. But it's definitely a hot topic. Nobody really knows what the answer is. They keep going back and forth. A lot of colleges are kind of putting their feet in very slowly. I know my boyfriend is in computer science, so his particular department is completely online in the fall, but that's not the case for everybody at school. So it really depends on the district and who works there and what the leadership says. However, while it's still up in the air what the districts think, there are actually two different groups that have kind of put out opinions on this topic. So that's what I really wanted to share today. Now, one of them I actually responded to on YouTube. I did a think aloud with it, and I will put the link to that video, those two videos, there were two of them, in the description down below. So I'm going to start talking about that one. The article is from insider.com, and it's called "A Harvard Homeschool Expert Says He's Not Convinced Schools Should Ever Have Closed." So that was the first one. And in this article, there were actually two people who are represented. Both of them were from the Harvard Law School. The first one says that schools should have never closed in the first place. And it has this lovely, lovely quote that just irritated me from the beginning. His quote was, "I am not convinced schools should ever have closed. Given what we know about relative vulnerability to the coronavirus, the shutdown decision arguably amounted to a prioritizing of the welfare of certain adults over the welfare of children." And in my Think Aloud video before, I kind of talked about how that particular opinion really kind of bugged me. And at the time, I had not read the whole article, so I did actually read the entire article all the way through. And interestingly enough, another person was cited from the Harvard Law School, but she was kind of a different opinion. She did say that it was right to close schools at the time, but her concern is that more people will want to do homeschooling in the future, even though it's not necessarily a good answer. And we don't have a decent system in place to control homeschooling. I guess other countries have it set up so that there are certain requirements you have to pass in order to homeschool. And the US doesn't currently have that. So that was interesting. But then the other article I just found last night, so it's a little bit more recent, is from the New York Times. And it is in part an interview, but the article from the New York Times is called "Why a Pediatric Group is Pushing to Reopen Schools This Fall." And this is referencing the American Academy of Pediatrics. And just the opening statement of this article says, "Guidelines from the American Academy of Pediatrics encourage having students physically present in school. Dr. Sean O'Leary, an author of that advice, explains why." So that has kind of an interview in it. So I'm going to go through the main points of each of these articles and just kind of talk about my opinions on them and why I don't agree with what either of them are saying.